For those of us who tend to like the spooky and mysterious things in life, sometimes when Halloween comes and goes, it's easy to feel a little down. Are you suffering from Halloween withdrawal? Well, step inside the Big Seance Parlor, because here, in episode 108, it's still Halloween.
Welcome to the Big Seance Podcast. I'm Patrick Keller of BigSeance.com, and this is a place for an open discussion on all things paranormal, but specifically topics like ghosts and hauntings, paranormal research, spirit communication, psychics and mediums, and life after death. So basically, anything that pops up in my paranormal world. The candles are already lit, so you might as well come on in and join the seance.
I bet a lot of us go through a kind of Halloween withdrawal, and I've always wanted to do an episode about it, and do it after Halloween. Well, we're not going to take a serious look at the condition, but for those of us suffering from it, we're going to delay our favorite holiday's exit and enjoy it for just a bit longer. So this year, I decided to take this show on the road, literally, to interview trick-or-treaters of all ages, with parental permission, of course, right here in the neighborhood. And as always, a few of our goblins were from a family in our neighborhood who have become friends of ours, the Faust family, an incredibly interesting family of 6. Among the trick-or-treaters I talked to, you'll hear Payton and Preston, Crosby, the family dog, and Dad, Jon Faust. But then I decided that since the whole family, thanks to Jen, the mom, has some interesting connections to Halloween, why not interview her on the show? And since she's in the neighborhood, Jen Faust, along with daughters Piper and Presley, are the very first guests to sit with me for real here in the Big Seance Parlor. We had the candles lit, and even though it was just water, we did have parlor drinks. If this is your first time checking out the Big Seance Podcast, just know this isn't the typical episode. And due to both recording outside on location and chatting with guests inside the parlor for the first time, the audio and your listening experience might be a bit different than what you're used to, but I think you'll enjoy it. So grab the leftover bowl of candy and enjoy just a bit more of Halloween as I chat with several trick-or-treaters on Halloween night and then a fun Faust family interview. So I want to know your favorite part about Halloween.
Candy!
My favorite part is costumes.
My favorite thing is candy.
Your favorite thing is candy. What is your favorite costume you've ever... what's the favorite character you've ever been for Halloween?
Not this one. It hurts. This map hurts my face. Probably Captain America.
Captain America?
I wanted him one time.
Captain America. And so what are you tonight?
I'm Dobby the House Elf.
Nice.
I got the sock pinned.
The sock? See, I guess I apparently am not cool enough to know that. Maybe I'm too old. But it has a sock?
Yeah. So in the books, he's not allowed to be set free from slavery till the owner gives him a article of clothing. So Harry Potter tricks his owner into giving him a sock. So that's how he gets free.
That sounds complicated, and I'm kind of thinking it's not your sock.
No, it's my dad's.
Okay, I thought maybe
from his cabinet.
I thought maybe your foot wasn't that big.
Yeah, I didn't even ask him.
Nice. And you know what's funny?
I am a size 6.
I keep looking at your pretend eyes instead of your for real eyes, just because.
I have right under my.
You do have for real eyes.
I have these little holes. That's where my real eyes see.
I'm so glad you talked to me. You rock.
Yeah.
Yay! My first interview tonight. Yay! Thank you. Did you guys all get your candy?
No.
You can.
Just to listen.
You can.
Do you talk about all sorts of things?
All
or?
sorts of things,
Fun.
paranormal stuff, but kind of, Halloween stuff too. We're big nerds.
Steal one more piece of
Yeah.
candy.
I'm digging your house.
Hey,
Yeah, it's fun.
we're giant nerds.
No, it's fun.
We like to nerd out.
What do you mean, nerds?
Oh, nerds are a good thing in our house.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween!
Okay, there we go.
And so I want to know your favorite part about Halloween.
Free candy, obviously.
Free candy. And what are you dressed as tonight?
Ciel Phantomhive from Black Butler.
Again, I'm so not cool enough to know what any of those things are. What's that from?
It's an anime, just...
I bet people who listen to my podcast, I bet there's some cool people who will totally know what that is. Do you have a favorite memory from Halloween? Like, do you go out trick-or-treating every year? Like, what's, besides candy, what's the best part of it?
Well, I like dressing up. It's a lot of fun to just, go out as your favorite character or something like that.
And how late do you stay out, especially? You're getting a little older. How late do you stay out now?
Well, it depends on my feet.
How many neighborhoods do you go through?
At least 2.
And do you have any rules about your candy when you're done? Like, do you get to just eat it whenever, or do you have to, like a tax, like give some to your parents and stuff like that?
Only the candy that I don't like.
Nice. Well, what's your favorite candy?
Tough question. I'd have to say candy corn probably because I'm generic.
I love candy corn. I also love peanut butter cups.
Those are good too.
Yeah. Well, you rock. Are you sure either of you don't want to be interviewed? Okay. All right. They're not very talkative. So happy Halloween.
Have fun.
Happy Halloween, guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. I just want to know, what your favorite part of Halloween is.
The part when you get candy, and then you leave, and then you eat it.
What, besides candy? Is there a favorite part besides candy?
Seeing everyone's decorations, I guess, and yeah.
What's your favorite candy?
Crunch bar.
Nice, you rock.
What do you think about all your
Wait.
mom's Halloween decorations around the house? Should she go a little overboard?
I mean, it's fair.
It's kind of overboard.
It's fair, just
Yeah.
fair.
I don't know.
I mean, it's a little overboard.
How late
but
do you get to stay out for Halloween when it's cold like this?
Until I get frostbite.
That's fair. That's cool.
Until I get frostbite.
All right, I'll let you move on. You rock.
See you guys.
See ya. Thank you.
You got candy?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Okay, awesome. So I want to know, what's your favorite Halloween tradition that you do around Halloween fall time?
To dress up and go around on Halloween and get candy.
Duh, I should have known that,
It's
right?
free candy.
It's
Candy.
Free candy?
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so what's your favorite tradition besides the trick-or-treating?
Going with my family and my dog around the houses, meeting new people.
And you do have a dog, and is the dog dressed up? What's the dog?
Princess.
Aww,
Little princess.
that is so cute.
Go up.
We love. So you're okay with being interviewed too? Awesome, that's so cute.
Hope's trying to get in up here.
Hopi, don't take
That's
on the
cool.
spotlight.
Do you guys watch scary movies or anything? Are you allowed to watch or spooky things?
Yesterday
They
we
don't
watched the
watch
Nightmare Before
anything
Christmas.
scary.
Oh, but that's spooky, right? That's kind of spooky.
No,
watch anything
it's not.
that's PG-13.
It's not.
Yeah, not
It's
like.
not
Do you carve pumpkins and things?
Yeah, we did
Yes.
that yesterday.
How many do you have?
5.
One for each of the family members.
Except Hopi.
She cannot.
Hopi
go.
just like gets
Not
to
a
come
very
out
good
here.
carver.
Yeah, Hopi.
Well, she doesn't have thumbs.
So yeah.
Yes, actually, she does.
Okay, last thing, favorite candy. I'll ask each one of you, favorite candy.
Nuts.
Just nuts?
Nuts.
Oh, nerds! I had some nerds today. I'm a teacher. A kid at school gave me nerds, and I ate them in like 2.3 seconds. What's your favorite candy?
Skittles.
Skittles. There's some Skittles in this bowl. Did you get some?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your favorite candy, sir?
Mike and Ike's.
Mike and Ike's. Okay, is this Mom?
Yeah.
Mom, favorite candy?
Mike and Ike's.
It's a family thing.
No,
What's your favorite candy?
Snickers.
Snickers.
Snickers is second to Reese's peanut butter cups for me.
Good too.
Yeah.
See, Dad wanted me to
and
like
Hopi's-
Snickers like him, so there'd be a shift in the balance of our
Hopi's
house.
favorite-
You gotta pass it on,
And Hopi's
you know.
favorite is pumpkin seeds. We accidentally gave one.
This is the dog, right?
No, we gave the dog the hot dog.
No.
Hopi's favorite candy is a hot dog.
No, she never had a hot dog.
Yes, she did.
Wow, catch up. She had a hot dog.
Yeah, she also stole my mom's beans.
Oh my gosh, that's probably bad for a dog.
No.
No?
That's just gonna make a toot.
I bet she did.
Yeah, we were watching America's Got Talent, and there's just a big. It squeaked against the carpet.
See, Halloween memories.
You should also go down the houses because those are where the most kids go.
Oh,
Okay,
so
if
I
you're
should
not-
just go around to the houses and tag people and interview them?
Yeah, but because most people usually get tired when they come.
So they don't make it down here?
Yep, pretty much.
Man, that's why we gotta flash the lights brighter.
Maybe we've got to move.
No.
Yeah, move to a more open zone
No.
out there.
Move to California.
You never know what you're gonna get right when you interview kiddos.
Yeah.
I didn't know, like, you guys are the
Move to
most talkative ones
California.
here.
Move to California.
A giant yeah, like those I don't know what they searchlight things when they have crowd, I can tell. Okay, so what's your favorite part about Halloween?
Well, I'm not really into scary stuff since, I don't know, it freaks me out insanely, even though my mom is born on Halloween, which is kind of weird.
And your mom likes nerdy Halloween stuff.
Very much, yes. We got like those night stays at Lemp Mansion and everything. Pretty chill.
Your mom and I could be best buds. Like, we could totally, like, have some seances and stuff. That would be pretty fun.
Gosh. With like the little Ouija boards.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she has one of those under her bed.
Yeah, she just got one.
Yeah, that's weird.
Do you have any other favorite traditions to do around Halloween time in the fall?
Well, I basically just like getting up and trick-or-treating just because it's like one of the only times I get up and do something. And then normally we throw big parties depending on how old my mom's turning. Last year was pretty okay.
One of those big numbers?
Yeah, it's 40. 50 is probably going to be the next big one, which is going to be... Actually, I'm not going to be here. Wow, okay.
Wow.
Moving out.
Oh, moving out.
Yeah.
Do you, so you said you don't like spooky stuff, so you don't like spooky movies and stuff?
I've never actually watched a horror movie before.
Never, ever?
I watched one in, like, German when I was, like, 8, and I've been horrified of movies since then. It is so bad.
Well, what's the spookiest thing that you like? You watch, like, The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, and stuff like that, right?
Oh, that terrifies me.
What?
No, I'm kidding. That would have been bad. Yeah, some ghost shows really freak me out.
Hocus Pocus?
Oh, I meant like Paranormal Lockdown.
Oh, that's kind of stuff. Yeah. But you've seen Hocus Pocus, right? Oh my gosh, you have to watch Hocus Pocus. Tell your mom.
I'm a bad movie
That's a
marathon.
homework for you. You have to watch Hocus Pocus.
All right.
Well, you rock. Thanks for letting me talk to you. Do you have anything else you want to share about Halloween nerdiness?
Being a nerd is great. Go away.
It sure is. It sure is. Thank you. You rock.
Yay.
I'll talk to your mom.
I feel so special.
Yay!
I got interviewed for a podcast.
Woohoo! Happy Halloween! Happy Halloween. Okay, so we're sitting here trick-or-treating. We got some people walking by, and somebody challenges me to see if I know what Satan's Tunnel is. And I don't think I've heard of Satan's Tunnel here in Missouri. So tell us what Satan's Tunnel is.
Satan's Tunnel's out in Truxton, Missouri. It's a old railroad track that used to go under a tunnel, or over a tunnel. And the story is that a homeless guy was walking across the top of it. Train came, he jumped to his death. Another story is the guy that lives on the corner, his daughter hung herself off of that tunnel. So if the story myth is if you go there, pull in the tunnel, shut your car off, A, you can't restart your car, or B, you'll start hearing people walking. And we've had personal experiences, rocks thrown off the top of the tunnel at us, voices out there, shadows. It's pretty creepy.
Oh my gosh, now like the deaths and stuff, are these like verifiable things?
It's on the internet. Look up Satan's Tunnel. It'll pop up the first one.
How far away from that is here?
Like 20 minutes from Troy, so.
So how many times have you guys been there to like check it out?
Probably 8 or 9 times.
So this is like a big obsession then?
Oh, yeah. My sister-in-law is actually a psychic, and she said it's pretty creepy out there.
Well, your sister-in-law needs to check out this podcast because I talk to a lot of psychics and mediums.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Thanks for letting me know. I've never heard of that.
Yep, pretty cool.
So thanks for being nerdy with me. Hope everybody's having a happy Halloween. You guys have a nice ride. You rock. Thank you. Yeah, you can join the cool crowd.
I'm good.
You're good? Like you don't want to?
Attention.
All right.
Oh.
My show.
Do you want to talk about Halloween? Does Crosby want to talk about Halloween?
I'm not sure what.
He's trying to eat the grass. No, he's trying to eat the leaves.
Now you go for real out on Halloween because your costumes like tend to completely rock.
Yes.
So like
They're real
what's yeah, like
Yeah.
what's your thing with Halloween?
His wife.
My wife, generally. I have no choice. Born on Halloween, pumpkin baby,
Dog ate a pumpkin.
partial witch, maybe, I don't know.
Giant nerd.
Giant nerd, definitely. And yeah, I guess I can't escape it. So it's bled into my work life. I have to wear costumes to work now, and so yeah, that's about it.
Last year your pirate costume was like the talk of the neighborhood, I think.
Killer. Yeah, actually the neighbors out there actually remember me for the pirate. The year prior, I think my vampire costume was awesome.
Missed the vampire costume.
I think that was my favorite. But killer, fangs and all.
What are you this year? I can't place you yet.
Well, she's Morticia Adams, and she's covering the door. So I am Gomez Adams with the suit. My rose has disappeared into my pocket. But
I'm telling you, this is like hardcore. This is not like your Halloween store costume.
well, of course not. Of course not. We got to go all in. All in.
Does
all in or nothing.
does the family have like Halloween, fall, spooky traditions?
Outside of starting to decorate the house sometime in late September, no real traditions, but we start picking outfits every bit of 30 days in advance. I'm pretty sure my wife does it a year in advance. So
She's got it on a spreadsheet ready to go already for
got it
next year.
sorted out. Yep. So I encourage you to check Facebook. She looks awesome this year.
I totally will.
And as Gomez Adams, in his normal attire, shall be kissing her arm to her shoulder and making sure he gives all the love.
Well, cool. Tell her if she wants to come down when she's done with the door at some point, and I'm still out. We are going to talk now to more of the Faust family. And after trick-or-treating, and after, we talked to Papa Faust, Dad Faust, I realized maybe we need to get Mama Faust in here because there's so much, and I already knew some of these things, but it is such a cool connection to Halloween that Jen Faust has, Mama Faust. And it has to be a cool, fun family around Halloween. And so I just wanted to learn more. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the connection of Halloween and how important that is to you? Because there's a couple connections you have to Halloween.
Yes. I was born on Halloween in 1976. And my mom always tells the story about when I was born and how the moon came up. The big orange full moon came up in Nebraska in the hospital, and I was born. And then the following day, she said that she put her clothes on and walked downtown and voted for Jimmy Carter.
That's a memory.
Yeah, that's what she remembers about that.
That's funny. The following day, too.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know it. I know. Yeah.
She got up quick.
Yes. Yes, she did. So that's the first thing. So I was born on Halloween. And then also my husband, John, proposed to me on Halloween in Las Vegas. And that would have been, you didn't know that? Yeah.
We're breaking news in here to some family members.
That's right.
By the way, we have Piper and we have Presley, 2 of the 4 Faust children that are here. And we talked to the other 2 children on Halloween night. So if you were proposed to on Halloween, is that because, I mean, I guess it's a combination of it being your birthday and that you're just a Halloween nerd. So you are a Halloween nerd, right?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
Very
that's
much
what we
so.
need to back up to. Like,
Yeah.
what was Halloween like then?
Yeah.
Growing up?
It was insane. My mom, well, first of all, I came from a very, very small town. I graduated with I went to preschool with the same 15 people I graduated high school with. So very close-knit group of people. And my mom would always have every single one of them over and decorate the whole house. And she'd have scavenger hunts that would go through the whole town.
Wow.
And do stuff like that. Everything was Halloween themed. And she really went all out in trying to scare the crap out of pretty much everyone. So I've kind of taken over that department. But
was she into Halloween before you were born?
You know, I don't really know. I'm not real sure.
Yeah.
She seems like she would be.
Mm-hmm. She just seems like a natural Halloween nerd.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, we always had a big shindig at our house. Lots of decorations. Always had a big party. She always made a really big deal about it and loved to scare me and my friends. Would take us to an abandoned cemetery and pretend like the car wouldn't start and scare me and all my friends. And she had a blast with it. And she'd always make all of our Halloween costumes. Everything was handmade. And I still have all of those costumes.
So no Target costumes
for
you?
No. She went above and beyond in that department. And our kids have worn a lot of the same costumes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I have them all. Yep.
That's cool. So I think it's interesting that I've heard from some people who were born on Halloween and they are running away from that their entire life because
embrace it.
They think they've been cheated out of something because Halloween is on the same day as their birthday. That's so cool that you just, like you said, embrace it and love it.
I would get so upset because there were times, now a lot of they don't celebrate it in the schools.
Mm-hmm. I get upset by that too. As a teacher, I get bummed out by that.
Yeah. And so that would always upset me, because I always felt like everybody was just celebrating my birthday.
It's all about you.
It's all about me. But now they had a fall party. They still call it the fall party.
Mm-hmm.
They had that after Halloween in their school this year, and they get a parade around in their costumes as long as it's an appropriate costume.
Mm-hmm.
But in my day, we wore whatever we wanted to school, and it was all about Halloween.
I do remember that is part of my memories of Halloween is my mom being a room mother for Halloween parties.
Yeah.
And I think we still called them Halloween parties then. I don't remember being able to wear costumes, but I do remember them kind of going all out and, always making the crafts. There's lots of black and orange construction paper all over the place, making pumpkins.
Pasted everywhere.
Yeah. So that was kind of cool and fun.
Yeah.
So are there any what traditions, I guess, that you grew up with for Halloween have you carried on, for the rest of the family now, for the kids?
Well, you have to dress up at our house. And another thing is, I've seen in the news, even they've brought up about how old is too old to trick or treat. And in my house, it is like, I told our 14-year-old this year, I said, you're trick or treating, and B, you're not going to stop trick or treating until you're out of the house. So I said it's a prerequisite. You have to, in order for you to live here,
or you're grounded.
This is what you're going to do. Yeah. I'm like, if you don't, it's just like not celebrating otherwise. I said, at the least you have to dress up. So there's not anybody in our house that doesn't dress up. I mean, the dog even dresses up.
Yeah, the dog did. I saw that.
The dog went trick-or-treating this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the one thing, is everybody has to dress up. And I've kind of try to create my own costumes. Like, I love to go to Goodwill, and like this year I went to Goodwill and I bought 3 different dresses, and I cut them all up and I sewed them all together to make one dress. So that's kind of my thing. Or I'll try to make the kids, like my mom did. My mom would make all of our costumes. And so for them, there's a couple times where I've handmade everything. So that's kind of one of the traditions, but dressing up for sure. And last year we had a huge party, but that was for my 40th.
Mm-hmm.
And this year I didn't have the energy for it, but that might be coming again, such as, just throw a big Halloween bash every year.
Yep.
I might just have to do that because I'm not getting any younger.
Yeah. None of us are.
We got to enjoy it while we can. And the kids always have a good time doing that. Their friends always attend. And so it's costumes. And what else do? We always carve our pumpkins. We always do that.
I always have a rule about when you grab the pumpkins, when you carve the pumpkins. Like, I try to make it very same thing every year.
Yeah.
When do you guys carve the pumpkins, or is there no rule? Do you just carve them all month long?
There wasn't. This year we did it, the day before? The day before, because last year, the weather, it was so warm, everybody's pumpkins rotted. So we thought we want it to look good. So, and we did one in our Volkswagen bus, and then usually we have more than that too, because we usually go to the pumpkin patch and take them there and spend an evening there, get hot chocolate and run around in the corn maze and all that stuff. But
well, Piper, why don't you tell me, first of all, like, what do you do specifically special to celebrate Mom's birthday that's different from Halloween? Or is it just we celebrate Halloween, and by celebrating Halloween, we're celebrating Mom at the same time? How's that work?
We just celebrate both at the same time.
And I guess you would be used to that forever. So it's not like having to separate them. It's just one
big happy party. Yeah.
That's awesome. What is your favorite part about Halloween? Your whole long life of how many years now, Piper?
11.
Ooh,
really
think about it. Wow. What's your favorite parts about Halloween?
I think dressing up. It's just fun. And then sometimes going trick-or-treating, but that's exhausting.
Because, well, especially if the weather isn't.
Because it was
kind of cold.
It was kind of chilly this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I forgot to bring a jacket.
Last year was warm. Oh my gosh.
And the year before, was it the year before that where it was like, for real, like your son Preston was joking about frostbite, but there was one Halloween we really were like out there with like winter coats and gloves, wondering if we really were going to get frostbite.
Right.
Halloween is so weird in a time of year where you can't really predict, I guess.
Oh, yeah, I remember them canceling it in my hometown and postponing it for 3 days because of snow. Actually, this year in my hometown, my mom said there was already an inch of snow on the ground.
Oh my gosh.
During Halloween. Yep.
I remember them talking about snow on the news, possibly snow that weekend.
Yeah. No.
So I probably already asked you. Well, no, I didn't get to talk to Piper. That's right. So what's like your favorite? Every time I asked about what your favorite part about Halloween was, every single kid said candy, and that ended like the conversation.
Right.
So I guess I should ask you, what's your favorite candy?
I think Twix is probably my favorite candy. Something chocolate.
Chocolate? You don't get into like peanut butter or anything, because that's my favorite.
I have peanut butter.
You like peanut butter too?
Like Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yep, that's always my number one.
Weakness.
Number one.
I don't have any more of them. I already ran out.
So you go around the neighborhood here. Do you go anywhere else other than the neighborhood, or we have a pretty big neighborhood you could trick or treat all night long, probably.
No, we don't go anywhere else but the neighborhood.
And does anybody here in the neighborhood do a cool like Halloween haunt, like a haunted garage or anything like where they stage like scares? Is there anything cool like that in our neighborhood?
They do have like these inflatable like random thingies that will pop up and try to scare you, but theirs is like broken and it didn't work. And like it would just be screaming, just laying down.
So you're just like, hey, that wasn't very
What's
scary.
Up?
Yeah. That's like the only one that there is. I don't think there's anywhere else.
Well, and your big sister said she's not into scares at all. Your big sister said she doesn't like spooky, scary things at all. So what's that like? Is that like a challenge to like try to figure out ways to scare her? Is everybody nice to each other and not try to scare her?
I do scare her sometimes. I'll like run into her room and then just like scream and then she'll like freak out.
Tell Patrick what you did to Preston.
What was it?
You got his clothes basket.
Oh! Well, Preston, he left his room and he went to go brush his teeth. So I decided to get in his empty clothes basket and like just close the top. And once he came back in, he opened it up and stared at me for like 3 seconds straight and then just screamed.
So it like took a while for it to register that he was staring at somebody in his hamper.
I thought it was you screaming.
Yeah, I did that once too.
Oh, that's funny.
It was fun.
Gosh.
She's the one that will, that likes to watch all the paranormal shows. And she gets into that. And Preston sometimes, but Payton,
she's scared.
I'm not sure where I failed her. I don't know. 'Cause I tried to like force her to watch it. I'm like, so we can get you acclimated. I just, but she gets so scared. What was it that she got so scared of? A movie. And I loved it. Mrs. Peregrine's.
Yep.
She came.
I never saw that. I wanted to. I never saw it.
She's home in tears. Yeah.
Oh my
and then I had to
gosh.
watch it. And the part that I could see Laya would be a little
like giant.
They do
Slenderman.
eat the children's eyeballs out, so that I could see maybe a little frightening,
details.
but
So what paranormal shows do you like, Piper?
I don't know what they're called. I think I know one of them. What?
Paranormal State. Don't you watch Paranormal State?
Oh,
and
reruns
Ghost Hunters.
of Paranormal State.
Yeah, that old and is that the one with Ryan? No.
Ryan Buell?
Yeah. What's
yes,
that?
it is. That's Paranormal State.
So that's old.
Paranormal Lockdown.
Yeah, that is old.
Paranormal Lockdown.
Yeah.
Paranormal Lockdown. I haven't watched in a while, but I love Paranormal Lockdown. I like it so much better than Ghost Adventures, which is what that guy came from. He used to be on Ghost Adventures, and then he
I've seen
left.
that like 2 times, and then like they wasn't on the TV anymore.
And then I got to interview Grant Wilson from Ghost Hunters. Do you know Grant Wilson then?
No.
Yeah, that was
you
my
would
episode.
if you saw him.
100. Yeah.
Really?
It was kind of cool. It was
Yeah.
really cool. And then I interviewed Adam Berry and Amy Bruni from Ghost Hunters.
Yes.
That
you know
was
them.
pretty cool.
I think I know Amy.
Yeah.
And they have a new show out now called Kindred Spirits.
Yes.
Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's interviewed them.
Yeah, I'm really
like
digging
them.
Kindred Spirits
Yeah.
too. I think it's so much, I don't know, I guess more respectful and more, it's cool. It's always feel good.
It's more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Less about scares and the tech and the, typical.
Yeah, sometimes you just wonder. I mean, I know a lot of shows are staged, so it's hard to figure out what's what, but it's interesting to me. It's so intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. And that whole other side. And I don't know if that has anything to do with my birthday or not, of how much I'm intrigued with that, or my horoscope, whatever. But I'm just fascinated. And my mother-in-law used to, when they lived in Iowa, did not like Halloween at all.
Mm-hmm.
Would go in the basement and not answer the door. She'd always call it Beggar's Night. And I'm like, oh no, we're going to have to change this. Yeah. I mean, you can't have a daughter-in-law and not, embrace Halloween. But for some reason, I guess my father-in-law now, that's what he does. They're both retired, but he watches the ghost hunting shows all the time.
Something he's gotten into.
He's just really gotten into. I'm like, you guys are retired. If I were retired, and I would go around and I'm like, why don't you just go to some of those places?
Yeah.
I'm so interested in it.
I wish I could if I were rich enough to just take off, some of the asylums and things. It's kind of depressing, but it would be so cool just to walk in some of those. And is it really true? Is it really? Because you hear all these stories, and I've been to so many so-called haunted places where I sit there and nothing happens.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
Did you ever see anything at Lemp or feel anything at Lemp?
I felt creeped out at Lemp only because I was at Lemp and I was by myself and it was overnight.
You're the only person there?
Well, there was one other couple there, but I never saw them. And that was creepier than thinking about ghosts, because I knew that there were two people in this dark place overnight and I didn't know who they were. I knew they were upstairs in one of the bedrooms upstairs. So I did creep around upstairs and check things out, but you also kind of hear them in that room.
Yeah,
and,
so it's kind of hard.
And it's dark and you don't, I was worried about bumping into live people and being scared, because I don't know if they're going to pull pranks or if they're just not, I never got to meet them. So that was almost freakier than anything. And I went down to the main floor and they kept all the lights off on the main floor. And I did a lot of Facebook Lives. And so a lot of people were watching as I was going down to the first floor. And I totally chickened out when I got to the first floor, because I heard a few creaks, and I don't know how much I imagined, but I was also going down a creaky staircase too. But I looked around and I was like, well, am I going to search for some lights and stuff? And I was like, nope, going right back up.
I don't know if I could do that by myself.
Oh,
I had two other people with me, but there was no one else there.
Yeah.
But we heard definite footsteps. We were sitting on that. There was a chase lounge kind of in the hallway.
Yep.
We sat on that, and then all of a sudden, it was as plain as day. It was boom, 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 boom. 4 footsteps right above our heads.
And were you guys by yourselves?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So we just all, shh, don't say anything. And are about ready to poop our pants. And then it was a minute later, we just hear bang, 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 bang. And it was on the front door. Somebody was at the front door.
Oh.
Scared the crap out of us. And then
it really was somebody at the front door.
But the footsteps were definitely footsteps.
And see, I worried about that too, because I knew that, anybody connected with Lemp leaves overnight. And I'm like,
what if they come back?
Well, what are they going to do to protect me from weirdos who might come up to the windows or come up?
Right.
That's
there's
one thing.
nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Well, and when
it's so cool that they do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wonder if a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But, when we first got there, they was telling us the importance of making sure that door is locked.
Mm-hmm.
When we arrived, it was unlocked. So that's what scared me.
Yeah.
Because I thought, who's in the house?
Yeah.
Who could have come in here when the door's been open? What if somebody's got a gun? What if, and so I've got all these things racing through my head. And after we heard the front door, we're like, did we lock the back door? And so we snuck over there and we made sure it was locked, and it was like a minute later, boom, 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 on the back door.
Uh-huh.
And I think the reason why that was happening is because we were going through with our little ghost meters through the whole house, and we were turning lights on in each one of them. And so whoever was standing outside is probably wondering,
what in the world is
why
going
are all
on?
these lights flickering on? And it was right around Halloween.
Yeah.
Probably the week before.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the owner said. He goes, well, they have those limp tours in the brewery that go on, the tunnel things.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, maybe somebody thought that it was there because all the lights were on and got it confused.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, still a cool place. I'd go back in a heartbeat.
Oh, so, and even if there's no, and I've said this about a lot of places, even if there's no haunting there, just the insides of the place and the decor and the trim and
everything, it's amazing.
Everything about it is, and you could just sit there and just imagine and daydream.
Oh yeah,
the whole, which is what I did most of the time, laying in bed because I didn't do much sleeping that night. But it was very, very cool.
I don't know why, but I always wanted to go to Suicide Bridge.
Suicide Bridge? What is that?
It's like, or people just like go underneath it and like do weird videos. Like,
what?
Where around here is that?
I don't know if it's around here. I think it's in a whole different state.
Oh.
Never even heard of it.
I don't know. There's these people that keep going there and like doing videos, whatever.
What are you watching stuff on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kids are YouTube junkies.
Mm-hmm. So you just got a Ouija board recently, and we talked about this before we recorded, and you have been kind of afraid to get it out. Is that because of kids being in the house, or does it have nothing to do with that?
No.
Or just kind of a general anxiety about it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why. I mean, when I was probably 3 or 4, my grandmother, that would be my mom's mom, had one and broke it out, and all of us grandkids played with it with her. And we did that for, that would be a routine thing that she would like to do. And nothing weird ever happened that I can recall. I was pretty little.
But you remember getting communication, though?
Not really. I mean, I just remember, I remember, all have our hands on it. I just remember the Ouija board. I think I was like 3.
Yeah.
And my other cousins, though, we were talking about it recently on Facebook. One of my 2 oldest cousins, they remember it very well. Mm-hmm. And just think it's hilarious that she would play with that with us. But I've never broke mine out, and
But you were excited to get it, though.
I was excited to get it. Yeah. John got it. Well, I have 2. I got a new one. My mother gave it to me for Christmas. Wonderful Christmas present. And the same,
she knows you well.
Yes, and the same year, I think John bought me a.
It was vintage, right?
Not the one that my mom got me. John got me that.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, he bought me the vintage one. So my mom bought me one for Christmas. Yes, and Dad got one from the flea market at Wentzville. That's where he got the.
And I think because I saw yours, I got jealous.
The same one.
And I got the same one.
Yeah.
So we now have the same, like, 1960s version of the Ouija board. I haven't tried mine yet. It's just been out as a decoration for Halloween.
Yeah, I don't know why I haven't. I think I didn't want to use it in my house, first of all, because I thought that what if I brought something into my house? And I was a little nervous about that. Mm-hmm. But I want to, and I've used one with friends when I was younger, and things happened. Mm-hmm. And I've asked the 2 girls that I did it with if they were messing with me, and they don't even remember us doing it. Mm-hmm. So unless I imagined the whole thing, I remember being in a bathroom with them and the sink plug moving up and down. And that's like I was 13.
That is why I've never really just wanted to use the Ouija board with other people, because it's like, I'm going to not trust what's going on just because the only person you can, 100% trust is yourself.
That's right.
And so, I haven't had too many Ouija partners. And we decided maybe we would do some kind of Ouija something today. I don't know. But I remember having that same anxiety when I got mine the first time, because I had read Rosemary Ellen Guiley's book and Karen A. Dahlman's book about the Ouija board. And after I read both of those books, I was like, why is everybody freaking out?
Right.
I'm totally doing this. But I do remember that anxiety of, is this a giant mistake or
Right.
what? And then, of course, everybody who listens knows that, it's been a giant dud for me. I've had nothing basically happen ever, but I do still like them. They do still fascinate me. Why? Because it's really boring. Every time I sit at it, nothing happens.
Maybe if we do it and bring an article of something such as a Mourning Cape.
Oh, okay. We have to talk about this. So Jen brought so it is called a Mourning Cape.
Yes.
And she's had it for a while, and it looks so cool, and it is black, and it's got, I guess I'll let you describe it, but it's from the late
1890s.
1890s.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Well, I got it off eBay, and it's heavy. It's real heavy. And I'm not sure, is there feathers on it or fur?
I don't know.
I'm not sure what it's made of, but it's fabulous.
Who knows?
Yeah. Yes.
And it looks like it's a really good condition, too. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that could be a nice little trigger object.
Yeah.
Then for that.
That's what I was thinking. I don't know.
Yeah. So, do you guys get nervous about that stuff? Like spirit communication stuff, seances and things?
No. I don't know. I
You
watch
don't
it a lot, so.
Does it scare you?
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah,
Because I remember some of the early memories, like shows I would watch. I remember, do you remember the Bloodhound Gang on 321 Contact?
Yes.
There was some, and I've never found it. I don't know if I've made it up in my head, but there was some episode having to do with like a seance and like a psychic, and I could be mixing it up with somebody else, but ever since then I've always loved, and it is partly why I ended up having the blog Big Seance, because it's just an image that I've always had in my head, and the medium and the old Victorian parlor, and just the kind of the eeriness of it. It just seemed so cool to me. And so even before I had never tried, I'd never used a Ouija board or anything like that growing up, but I always was kind of one of those nerds who like to imagine it, I guess, even though I'd never tried anything until I got way older. There's that nervous yawn.
It is. It is. You start talking about stuff, and there it is.
We decided Presley has a nervous yawn.
Ow.
Do we have any other traditions that we do? It seems like there's something else that we do for Halloween.
Decorate.
We did. That's huge. Oh, you know what we did do one year? We got a whole bunch of old bottles, like old bottles that we found, and we made our own little potions with labels, and we had a blast doing that.
Was that last year or the year before?
I think it was 2 years ago. I think it was
I remember seeing pictures of that.
Because we've never emptied them, and some of them have like fake worms in them that are made of plastic, and they just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Oh, that's creepy and gross at the same time.
If one of them, broke and spilled,
it smells so bad.
Yeah.
You guys would, I think if anybody were to have a home haunt or like a haunted garage or something, you guys would be the ones to do it, because you would do it
that.
so...
Like decorate the Volkswagen, make it foggy.
Oh, yeah, that would be cool.
We have to back that thing out and get people in our garage, make room in there.
Well, it could be the draw to the whole home haunt.
You're in a ride on the Volkswagen, and then you pull into a random garage, and then we scare the crap out of you.
You have to talk in your mic.
Yeah. So what would you do?
We'd take you on a Volkswagen ride, and then you'd pull into a weird garage, and then we'll scare the crap out of you.
So it's kind of like a haunted hayride, too. You get into the Volkswagen.
Interesting.
I'm telling you, this is such an interesting family. They're so cool to creep up on Facebook and watch what they're doing. Do you guys have like a family meal that's traditional on Halloween? Growing up, for me, it used to always be chili, or it would be potato soup.
I think we did have chili, didn't we?
Our usual one is pizza.
Pizza?
A quick pizza, and then we leave to go trick-or-treating.
Well, nowadays, it's like when you get out of school, like just an hour or two later, the little kids are already trick-or-treating. So it kind of has to be a quick little meal. I bet a lot of people have pizza for Halloween.
It's good.
Whatever can coat your stomach before you start shoveling in the crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One night we didn't even have dinner.
Oh, did we do that one year? We just ate candy for dinner.
We just ate candy. And
Because you were
Dad's
so excited, you just jumped out.
Eat 2 pieces of candy and then go to bed.
It did not happen. It was like 20 pieces of candy.
Say that.
Yeah, he did. He just said eat something and like go to bed.
Oh,
it was
my
like
Lord.
it was
candy
past
though.
bedtime.
But maybe that's what you heard in your head was
No,
you eat
Dad
candy
just said
before you go to bed, and then
I think we
go
had
to bed.
sandwiches that year.
No, we didn't. We didn't eat anything except candy for dinner.
Junk.
You were deprived for Halloween that year.
Yeah.
It stands out to you. You were starved on Halloween.
I only ate cookies. That's all I ate.
That would be just fine with you.
Then I ate Cheetos.
Well, I've been eating some of the candy left around lately, and so dinner has been put off a little bit because it's like, I'm not so much hungry after I've eaten 10 Mary Janes.
Yes. Oh, I know. Oh my gosh. This year, John got me I'm obsessed with the Linda's fudge cake from Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, okay.
It's like 7 layers of fudge. And he bought me the whole cake this year. Usually I get 1 slice and it lasts for 2 days. And I usually get it after I have my infusion.
Uh-huh.
Well, yeah, this year the whole cake. I think there's 10 pieces in that bad boy.
I think there's only 3 slices gone.
Is it done yet, or is the family still working on it?
Oh, we're still working on it. I don't share real well.
Oh.
So. I didn't go walking around this year. So you guys have your bag of candy. I have my
cake.
Yeah,
crate o' cake.
And you manned the door this year for Halloween.
Yeah,
We
I
didn't
did
have
last
a ton
year
this
too.
year.
We had like 10.
Really?
It was depressing.
We had
That
like
means more candy for us.
8 groups that came through, but we also did it a little differently because I was interviewing people. We were out at the end of the driveway.
Yeah.
So that might be why we got a few more. But I don't know if it was one of the Fausts or what said that a lot of people don't come around this corner. So I was like, well, we're going to have to get, a spotlight or something to get people to come all the way down this corner. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
but we did have more than 10 though. So I don't.
We didn't have it. The people that live right next to us didn't have their lights on. And then there's a pastor and a pastor's wife that didn't have theirs on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Katie even had theirs on. So there was like 2 people in our cul-de-sac.
So it was kind of dark and people just didn't make the effort.
Yeah.
Mm.
So.
But yeah, we did notice that it was a lot quieter than the last 2 years that we've experienced here. I was kind of bummed.
Yeah, me too.
Especially when we went all out and like you drag stuff out and we do our little shtick, you always have a little shtick. And then it was like, well, at 8:30, it was like, well, let's wait till 9:30.
Yeah, it just seems.
And then it was like 8:45 and I was like, well, let's just be done.
Yeah, I know.
Sitting out there freezing.
Right.
And it's like, you don't want to be that nerd who just, is depressing sitting out on your driveway for an hour with nobody coming by.
Why aren't they coming? If you build it, they will come. So we need to build something. We need to make a spooky garage, or we need to do something.
Oh, great.
I think your family is just designed for that.
Yeah, we
except for Payton.
Yeah, she'd do it, and then
just like
as long
not
as
go
she can
outside.
sit back and watch.
Maybe she could
everyone else
coordinate
gets- Yeah, she'd be good at that.
Put it over there.
Yeah,
Keep right in the box. Because I don't want it.
She'll make the
It's just scary.
skeleton on the roof, the chair on the sidewalk.
Oh,
and
I
then-
wanted those spooky skeletons on the roof. We never did that. We saw that on
I told
somebody's
you you had
house.
to go.
The big life-size skeletons, which we have one.
Mm-hmm.
But we saw somebody's house. That was less. That was 2 years ago. And they had them like they're climbing up the roof, and then they're eventually on the roof, and they have them all on a spotlight.
Oh my
It
gosh.
was so creepy. Cool.
That's kind of like the Halloween version of the Santa sleigh and reindeer that used to be really popular on the roof.
Yes.
Do you get like depressed after Halloween, like when it's over?
When the Christmas music starts coming out, that's depressing.
Depressing.
Oh, or I think we were even in Target. Was it Target the other day? And there was Christmas stuff out and with the Halloween stuff. And I'm like, for God's sakes, just let me have my day.
When I went to Target on it was the day before Halloween. I think it was the day before Halloween. Yeah, I was getting, the candy because it was last minute. And they were already like, well, first of all, half the shelves were gone. It was empty. People had come through and just shopped them out of everything. But they were already like shifting the Christmas into the Halloween aisles. It was
like my biggest pet peeve.
Strange. I actually am, I love the change of the seasons. Like fall is my favorite.
Yes.
And Halloween is one of my favorite. But like when it's done, I kind of, something clicks. And I'm like, it's like I wish, it's like the feeling isn't there. Like I get sad that the feeling isn't there.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
And it's like something changes and it's like, well, it's done. Why am I going to pretend like it's still? So I do kind of get excited for that Christmas shift too. But Halloween isn't my birthday either.
Well, last year we started decorating in September because I was all about it. Because I figure, well, everything's going to be, they're going to
Christmas so early.
They're going to push Halloween out as fast as humanly possible. And,
I've been known to decorate for Halloween on August because as a teacher, when you go back to school, to me, in my mind, that's always been fall.
Yeah.
When you go back to school, it's fall, even though it's still like 100 degrees and it's still summer, basically.
Yeah.
So that's when I start planning and thinking about it and watching Halloween things. And it's like August and hot.
Yeah.
We didn't do that the last couple of years. I guess I've calmed myself and gotten myself to hold off a little bit.
I think we just need to start getting more radical each year.
We need a decoration.
Until you're just like, for real, the Addams family.
Yeah.
Just all year round Addams family.
Yep. That was a thing we were going, for a while. We were trying to do the family, have family costumes.
Yeah.
They'll all dress up as
one theme.
Yes, but then we've got, people that don't want to cooperate.
Everybody has their own little, thing they're into.
Yep. So we did vampires. We all did vampires one year. And what did we do?
Pirates.
We all did pirates one year.
That was yesterday.
The pirates last year were cool.
That was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Dad come around here in his pirate.
He does a pretty good. Pirate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to get him to. I try to put eyeliner.
Mm-hmm.
I got a thing with guys with eyeliner. I don't know what it is. If that's a Johnny Depp thing.
Was he digging that, or did he fight it?
Well, with the whole contacts, and he's got like the largest eyes on the planet. Putting eyeliner under there, he's a nightmare.
That's funny.
Yeah, he didn't appreciate my makeup skills, but he still looked pretty cool.
I can't remember any other costumes that we did as a family. Only pirates.
Yeah, that's all
and
vampires.
Yeah.
It's probably hard to do though, because everybody has their own little personalities, and
yeah, it's fun though when you get all of them to get together, so y'all look the same. Yeah, last year was pirate. The year before that was skeletons. Remember, I painted up your faces all like with the teeth, and the dad looked super spooky. And then the year before
I was
we did vampires.
Cowgirl skeleton or something.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Yeah. Sometimes my mom makes their costume. Like if I don't get fully around to one of them, she'll still.
Mm-hmm.
She hates every minute of it, but she, cusses at the sewing machine.
Some of my costumes were made by Grandma too. She was a seamstress, so there was a year that I was actually there were like 3 years in a row that I was a clown, which I wasn't real. I always was one of those. I was like, it's Halloween, it has to be spooky,
right.
But Mom said, let's be, I think all moms probably do that. Well, let's be this cutesy thing, And my grandma made this huge oversized clown outfit that, of course, was meant to last me,
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I wore it like 3 years in a row. I was a clown.
The clown.
Brandon was a clown this year, but instead of wearing like an actual costume, it looked like he was wearing like a giant wetsuit.
And I remember makeup back then wasn't really awesome for Halloween. Like it was like greasy and kind of see-through, like it wasn't real solid. So like I looked like basically a clown with like, just raccoon eyes or something. Like there's not a lot of clownness going on my
Do you still have
face.
some of your pictures from when you dressed up?
I have 2 that I know of. One is clown. I have 2 pictures of me being a clown from 2 different years. And then I have 1 year, and this is going to sound horrible, because on the back, I'm wearing a sombrero and whatever they call, in the Mexican tradition.
The poncho
Yeah, I guess whatever that is. So I'm wearing that because my grandpa at the time went to Mexico and brought it back as like a gift for me. And so there was like, oh, let's just do this for Halloween. And so my sister was Casper that year. So she, that Casper mask, so many people have been Casper.
Oh my God, I love
so
him.
she was like 1 year old, and she's wearing Casper, and I'm with a guitar in that, in the sombrero, and on the back of the picture, Polaroid, Mom said, Cassie is Casper, Patrick is a Mexican.
Oh my God, that's great.
And I have like a mustache drawn on my face.
Oh my God.
I think that's the only one that I still have. I think I was a vampire a couple of years. And then after that, I got more, and that's how it is now. Like, I've never dressed up for Halloween. I just love being a part of it.
Yeah.
And like being at the door and like seeing it all and watching the TV on Halloween night. There's always something cool on Halloween. And I got less and less into the actual dressing up part of it.
I love it. It's one day you can just be somebody else.
Uh-huh.
It's like I don't know.
Excuse
that's like one
to
of my
be weird.
favorite parts. Yeah. Is just being someone else and just being, I found a picture of me, and one year I went as Little Orphan Annie, and my brother went as Punjab, and his friend went as Daddy Warbucks.
Oh gosh.
And
did everybody look the part?
Everybody but me. My mom made my costume, which looks great, but then I have a clown wig on. I mean, it's red, but it's like it's sticking out to here. And so that made it all very wrong.
Little clown Annie.
Yes. So funny.
Please show me that picture.
The old vintage masks are what kill me.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. They would the plastic ones would cut your face, like if you stuck your tongue out or something. They were always sharp.
Yeah. And
then the other masks, I remember the other masks always smelled like a rubber tree.
Yes.
They smelled horrible.
Yep. Yeah.
To this day, and I've mentioned this in episodes too, it sounds so funny. If you smell a roll of duct tape, I don't know what it is or why, but when you smell a roll of duct tape, that takes me back to Halloween.
It does.
It smells like one of the old masks, and maybe a mask now still. I don't know, but I haven't really worn a mask like that in a long time. But it smells like the 80s Halloween.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Everybody go try it. Go smell a roll of duct tape. Find one right now and tell me that doesn't remind you of Halloween.
Speaking of 80s Halloween, so we used to have Halloween big parties all the time. And my dad was the local pharmacist. Mm-hmm. And so he owned the drugstore in town. And the building was built, I think, in the 1880s. And it had a full basement. And I went down there recently. He's retired now and sold it. But a couple years ago, I guess, me and my brother went downstairs and we're kind of just browsing around down there and found this box of stuff. And it was all this Halloween stuff from my birthday from like 1983. And so I brought it all home. And a lot of it was just all the extras, like all of the plates still in the wrapping. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, all the decorations from
eBay.
Oh my God, yes. I think we may have eaten off some of them in the I think I made you guys do that.
Wow, isn't that horrible?
It's nostalgic. Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, I do remember 80s. My dad cleaning out just a few years ago saying, okay, I pulled out some stuff from the basement. If you want it, take it. If not, we're throwing it away. And I remember my sister and I looked at it and we were like, yeah, we're good. Because, it gets gross and mildewy and, there wasn't anything. I mean, all the real cool stuff. I mean, there's definitely stuff I would have loved to have, but none of that was in that box.
Right. Yeah. I have a trunk I've got a Jen trunk of everything that, like my click camera.
A Jen trunk.
Yes. Suede fringe jacket.
I had a click camera too. That's funny.
Well, I still have mine.
It's awesome.
Take some pictures with that.
Yeah.
No.
They think you're weird.
I know. Cool. Well, they know I am.
She's supposed to be. She's mom.
There's no thinking anymore.
What?
There's no just thinking I'm weird anymore. You've pretty much, you know, I'm weird.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. Things will always be a little strange and spooky here, but I'm sure you'll agree we should probably try to move on. That way, it'll be special again when all the sights, sounds, and feels of the Halloween season return next time around. Additional music this week was provided by the great Kevin McLeod at incompetech.com. If you've made it this far, you may be waiting for the Paranerd Hashtag. Find me on Twitter at Big Seance. Be sure to tag me and tweet the hashtag Halloween Withdrawal. That's hashtag Halloween Withdrawal. See ya. For show notes, including links to anything we may have mentioned in this episode, visit bigseance.com. Just click on the Big Seance podcast logo or find it in the menu. You can also find and subscribe to the show in iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, TuneIn Radio, and iHeartRadio. Do you have any comments or feedback? Go to bigseance.com/feedback to learn how to get your voice in a future show. Or you can call my feedback line, 7755-TELL-ME. That's 775-583-5563. Interested in learning how to promote and share the podcast? Go to bigseance.com/share. Thank you so much for listening. Unfortunately, it's time to blow the candles out, but we'll see you and light them again next time.